Welcome, if this is your first time watching Who Remembers, the series where we discuss and break down my thoughts on games that are at least 10 years old or older. Some we are revisiting, and some we are playing for the first time. I'll try to keep it mostly spoiler-free by avoiding any major plot points. So let's get started. Uncharted 2 Among Thieves is widely considered by many to be the best in the series, and furthermore, one of the best games ever made. Unfortunately for me, it went right over my head and passed me by back in 2009. I only recently played the first Uncharted game, Drake's Fortune. Even though I don't have any nostalgia for the series, I absolutely loved it. Sure, some of the gameplay was a bit dated, and the controls took some time to get used to, but overall, I thought it was great. The story, the characters, and the great adventure is what makes Uncharted stand out against its peers, especially for the time it was released. I've been looking forward to returning to Drake's next adventure ever since I finished the first one.
I can't leave you alone for a minute, can I?
So today, we get to do so, with the latest episode of Who Remembers. Uncharted 2 Among Thieves has everything we love from the first game, and then some. We have our returning cast of characters we love from Drake's Fortune, and even some new characters that are introduced, expanding our lovable cast. It was really great seeing Sully and Elena return. Never a dull moment with Sully.
Which way'd Chloe go? See you later.
Oh no.
You're a dirty old man, Sullivan.
Uh-huh.
The connection between Drake and Elena is stronger than ever. We also have great additions like firecracker Chloe Fraser and the witty Harry Flynn.
Buy me a drink, sailor. Harry Flynn? Hey! What the hell are you doing here? I'm looking for you, mate.
A new threat has risen up this time, and it's war criminal Lazarevich. Once again, Drake is racing against time to find the lost city of Shambhala, to find this sacred stone before Lazarevich does. Personally, I found Lazarevich way more interesting and a bigger threat overall compared to Drake's former nemesis, Navarro, I think was his name. This dude's way better. This will be a common theme throughout this episode because Uncharted 2 is simply better in every way than the original. The game provides way more variety throughout each chapter. In the original game, Drake is basically in one location the entire game. Among Thieves has us traveling through Turkey, Borneo, Nepal, Tibet, and even the Himalayas. You can really see the enhancements made from the first title. With more realistic climbing, melee combat is more fluid and responsive, Drake leaves footprints in the snow, and the gunplay is just a bit tighter, providing the player with more smooth and snappy feel overall. I do miss the jet skis and the jeeps though. The stealth mechanics have improved as well. Enemy AI is a slight more intelligent this go around, but it's still pretty easy to sneak up on them. It's also funny how you can see the bones of The Last of Us with some of the stealth mechanics, and even the locations throughout the game. The Last of Us wouldn't come out until about a year later, but you can really see the influence in this game. Just like The Last of Us, Uncharted 2 has one hell of an opening. Now, I won't spoil it for anyone who hasn't played the game like me, but it's intense and one of the most iconic scenes from the entire series, according to many others online. Uncharted 2 is action-packed from start to finish, providing the player with addictive gameplay, always leaving you wanting more and more. The game throws in so many different curveballs and consistently keeps you on your toes. This provides a lot more depth to the story, making things more interesting and satisfying to see it to the end. I also feel like the puzzles were slightly improved and were challenging enough to keep the player engaged, but not frustrated. Drake has his own journal this time instead of Francis Drake's. Same concept as the original game, you have to use your journal to find clues and little details in order to progress and solve the puzzle. Most solutions are fairly obvious, but these moments are crucial for the player to find a break and just take a breather from the action. The game is consistently throwing something action-packed in your face, so I definitely appreciate any downtime I get.
Right, look. I've got it all figured out. We go in through the sewer.
Loving it so far.
Just like the first game, Uncharted 2 switches things up on you in the second half of the game by introducing new enemies, which are challenging, fast, and difficult to kill. I feel like this was done more efficiently in the first game because of the more slow and subtle approach, But regardless, I still enjoyed this change of pace, and it was effective. One of my favorite moments of this game is when Tenzin is introduced, probably my new favorite character outside of Chloe. Drake and Tenzin make their way through the Himalayas. This is one of the most stunningly beautiful parts of the game. You can really see the graphic enhancements from the first game here. The way the wind blows through the ice storm. Drake's pants and boots are covered in snow. The footprints and the sheer size of the glacier surrounding you is breathtaking. This is what makes this game so great. Nothing overstays its welcome. You'll never be in one place for too long. You're always introduced to something new and exciting. One minute you're jumping across a speeding train, then you're fighting a helicopter. It's literally impossible to be bored with Uncharted. I'm so glad I finally decided to jump into the Uncharted series earlier this year. Personally, the linear gameplay is so refreshing after I finish a difficult game like Resident Evil 4. But it's so nice to just sit back and play something fun and straightforward. The length of 8 to 10 hours is perfect, it doesn't overstay its welcome, and the pacing is excellent. Uncharted 2 is one of the most highly praised games of all time, and well deserved. It scored a 96 out of 100 on Metacritic, based on the first 100 reviews, earning it 41 perfect review scores and over 200 Game of the Year awards in different categories. It's in the running for my Game of the Year, up against titles like Celeste and Resident Evil 4 Remake. I enjoyed it so much, and I'm already playing Uncharted 3, Drake's Deception. I'm planning on finishing at least the first 4 titles this year. If you're anything like me, please give the Uncharted series a chance. I promise it won't disappoint you. Start from the beginning, get to know the characters, and begin discovering the many secrets of the world of Uncharted. I'd recommend playing Uncharted 2 Among Thieves to anyone into action-adventure games and solid 3D platforming. You can't go wrong. Each adventure is unique in its own way. I recommend the PS4 collection of the first 3 games to get started. I think I paid about $10 for it, and then I also paid $10 for Uncharted 4. I hope you enjoyed looking back on Uncharted 2 Among Thieves with me. It's truly a classic. Please make sure to give this video a like if you're an Uncharted fan, and comment down below your favorite memory of the Uncharted series. Consider subscribing if you want to come back for more scenic drives down memory lane. I'll see you next time. Cheers.